As the pandemic rolls on, it's of little surprise the state budget is focused on health.
There's always a next step.
And the government is taking a big step, paying billions to train thousands of healthcare workers and new teachers. The 000 crisis is being tackled with $333 million to train 400 new operators. There's also $900 million for a long-awaited hospital in Melton, but work on that won't start for at least another 2 years.
We've always believed in putting patients first.
Tim Pallas's 8th budget is in the red, with a forecast deficit of $7.9 billion. But the Treasurer has mapped a path to a modest surplus in 4 years' time. Debt continues to rise. It's hit $118 billion, about 20% of the state's economy. In 4 years, it's projected to skyrocket to $167.5 billion, a whopping 26% of the state's economy. The government is blaming COVID.
It's not like the money was just chucked away. It was used for purposes that in the long term are probably pretty good. For how long we can keep borrowing is another question.
The pandemic didn't cause this waste and mismanagement. Daniel Andrews did.
In this pandemic, in this budget, we are establishing the Victorian Future Fund.
Labor says that fund will be used to service the rising debt. It'll be partially funded by privatising Vic Road's registration system, but the details are yet to be released.
Selling, sold.
The annual take from stamp duty may have peaked at $10 billion, with the property market forecast to cool. And while tax rates haven't increased, revenue to state coffers continues to grow by 4.7%. Treasury predicts the economy will also keep growing as migrants, tourists and international students return. But unemployment is predicted to increase to 4.75%, up from 4%.
The underpinnings of the budget are very, very weak indeed. It's built on heroic assumptions.
Public sector wages are still the biggest cost at $37.5 billion and rising by 2.2% each year, below CPI, which Treasury forecast to hover around 2.5%, which is lower than last week's inflation figures.
We know that's out of date already. People will be asking questions because it sort of has implications for long-term wages growth and what happens with the next wave of EBAs.
Major projects continue to blow out, with $5.8 billion in cost overruns, including the Westgate Tunnel.
We have planned and built for the future, not just for tomorrow, but for the many years ahead.
For the government, that future will be decided by voters in a little over 200 days. Richard Billingham, ABC News, Melbourne.